Okay, guys, welcome to the Wednesday market wrap up. We're looking at it for the 12th of January 2022. I'm shocked I don't say 2021 more often. I guess I'm getting a little better at that for now. A wild week so far in the market. Last time I chatted with you guys, the market was selling off again. Talked about places that I thought that we needed to defend and obviously not to panic. And that was on, I believe, on the weekend. Exactly what happened, right? We're still in an uptrend, and we really can't say anything about what's going on in the market without establishing that we are in an uptrend, and every sell-off is innocent until proven guilty, right? You want to keep buying these dips as long as it works. There will be a day where it doesn't, and that's when we have to move on, but so far things are working well. So again, if just so you guys know what's going on here, this is kind of a preview of the analysis that I do every night for the Stats Edge Pro members. So check out the link in the description below for links to that and all of the different tools that I use, just right in the description below there. So let's just get right into it and let's start. Actually, I have a notepad open here. Let's start with the crypto space. So we're going to go in here and then click that. Perfect. So yeah, so let's first of all, when we're talking about currencies, cryptocurrencies or FX, doesn't really matter which one. I like to use the UUP as an ETF, so you can use that one as well. It's essentially a composite index versus the dollar, right? So it takes a bunch of different currencies and it mashes them against the dollar, and it says, okay, this is, the dollar is strong or weak on average versus these other securities. You can see we kind of fell out of bed there and sold off, and that was on the inflation numbers we had this morning. Still overall nice bullish rounded bottom, but it is coming back down to retest the breakout point. So that's going to be interesting to me. Because of that, we've actually seen a lot of move in these cryptocurrencies as well. So Bitcoin, I've been talking in the live stream and for Stats Edge Pro members for a while, just against this area right here, where we're seeing, call it 40,000. We saw resistance here and then support back through here, and it's acting as support again, and we're bouncing off that a little bit. So this number, call it 40,000 to 41,000 is the area that I'm still going to take a look at on that. We go into Ether, and this one's actually bouncing from its same kind of support level in through here, much stronger than Bitcoin is. So something to keep in mind. One thing I did get triggered on today is this ENJUSD, engine coin. Again, I'm a technician, so I study these from a chart basis kind of only. Just breaking this downtrend line, so I'm looking to get involved. I got involved over that downtrend line, just in the mid 240s, I believe. Essentially, if we break down under this $2 area, that's where I'll be out. Looking to see if we can retest these highs, and above those might be interesting, just to see if anything's going to go from there. Another crypto I wanted to point out was Atom USD, Cosmos. You got to find the right. You got to find the right exchange on this, or you don't get a lot of data. So this one actually has been holding up pretty well and has this little bit of a downtrending line, or you could just look at this support horizontally like that. Call it 43, 44. Yeah, I have a note for the pro members to watch 43. Holding that pretty well. So over 43, I like this one. It's interesting to me. And then if it gets back under kind of this pivot high, that's where I'll probably be out of that position. From the currency side, the only currency cross that I follow that is really interesting to me. Let's see what's going on there. Just do a little refresh. GBP, GPY. It's had a big strong move to come up to this most recent high. So it'll be interesting to see if we're going to base here for a while and then break through. That might be a trend continuation, or if we're going to fall down from that and play as a reversal play. But this one's at an interesting resistance area, and it had to work really hard to get there. So that's what I like to watch for that. So that is it for the crypto side of things. Let's now take a look at equities, and we'll start with the SPY. And you can see that the SPY kind of respected this trend line, talking about on the weekend pretty perfectly, where you just take this low here and you take a look at this bottom here, pull back to that on Monday, and then bounce, follow through on Thursday, and then a little doji day today. So in the notes to the pro members, I just said that these doji days are really interesting to me because I'm concerned about what's going to happen the next day. A doji as a candlestick represents indecision, right? The market opened and it pushed higher and then pushed lower and then it closed right where it opened. So there was a battle that happened all day between the bulls and the bears, but no ground was able to be made. So I'm watching this to say, okay, if that's the case, then what's going to be the next move? That's going to be the move that kind of resolves this a little bit. Next one is the IWM. I wanted to point out how much this is underperforming. So these small caps really are still getting killed. So we have to keep in mind that as we're trading. Keep in mind that the SPY is, bigger cap and a lot of big cap industries, and then the IWM is smaller cap. So the smaller cap names, they're going to be weaker than the larger cap names. So when you're building your watch list and understanding what you want to trade, you want to kind of err on the side of larger, more established companies and away from these smaller ones for now anyway. If this thing starts breaking out of this upper range again, that's where I'll be interested in kind of looking at those smaller caps a little bit more. Oil and energy as a whole, but specifically oil is actually doing a nice little breakout here. So we had this deep pullback after this initial breakout, and now we're back up and we're going to break out above that again. If we look at the XLE, which is the energy sector overall, that thing has been on fire since it broke out. So just keep that in mind as well. I also have wood. Lumber prices may be returning back to their highs. We have this long rounded base, and now we've broken out of that range. So it'll be interesting to see if this wood ETF takes another crack at 100. Basically, this is very indicative of a high inflation type of market, right? There's an old saying that in inflationary environments, you want to find things that if you drop it on your foot, it will hurt. And that's what you want to be in. And that's kind of what's happening here. We're seeing energy and oil and wood and basically everything except gold has been rocketing. So, think real companies and think real, by real, I mean they do an actual physical thing that you can touch. That's what the market seems to be rewarding right now, punishing that kind of more discretionary play where it's, hey, this company has a bunch of data on people and may make money in the future. That's what's kind of getting hit right now. So just individual names that I'm watching, we have BJ Wholesales, just a retailer. This one will be interesting because we actually have some retail numbers on Friday. So I'll be watching this one on Friday. It's just holding this gap. I've mentioned this, I think, a couple times, but it's just been holding this gap really, really well. And as long as it does, I'm interested. If it breaks down and fills into the gap, I'll take it off my list and I'll come back to it later at some point. But, as long as it's holding this range, that's what's interesting to me. So I'm basically just looking to see if this thing is going to break up and continue that way. APRN is something that I entered yesterday. Long pullback here from 12 to 6. So I got cut in half in a number of days and then pulled back into the $6 level, which we can see was resistance in through here and support in through here. If you go further back, you also see that this was an important area in the past. So leaning on this $6 area, RSI is looking like it's pointing up a bit, whereas the price is moving down. And it's breaking out of this declining wedge. Just trying to see if I can get a pop, maybe into the 8 or 9s. Not looking for all-time highs on that one. And then I'm nibbling on some of these really beaten up names just for a shot. So a play that I've been incorporating in my playbook a little more are these RSI divergences. Essentially, again, it just means an RSI is a momentum indicator. And if that's pointing higher, whereas price is pointing lower, that can just signify that sellers may be losing momentum to the downside. So it may be time to start looking for a long. In and of itself, no indicator means anything, and I'm pretty hard about that. But it's something to signify that, okay, maybe it's time to look on the other end and see what's going on there. So with this pulling back and getting really, really tight on DraftKings, I'm going to see if we can get a pop out of that. You know, again, I don't think any of these companies are getting back to these highs anytime soon. Just trying to see if we can get a little pop up on them. And last but not least is Peloton. It's been doing the same thing. This one's been drifting lower as the RSI has been pushing higher. So I took a little shot on that. And again, I'm just leaning against these lows. So if I'm wrong, I'm going to lose something like this. And if I'm right, hopefully I will make something like that. So that's how I look at trading. I don't feel like it's important to be right a large percentage of the time. It's just important to be right. When you're right, you make way more than you're wrong, and over the long run, you'll end up netting profitably with that. So again, as always, none of this is investment advice at all, just talking about what I am trading. And you can join me over at statsedgetrading.com. Links in the description below for all of the tools that you saw me use today. Those links are affiliate links, so they help out the channel as well. So I will talk to you guys on the weekend where I do my live stream, and that's Saturday at 2 Eastern. So hopefully I will see you guys there.